Welcome to today's custom deep dive, where we are taking you into these surprisingly funny and actually pretty scientific world of pruning lavender.
Yeah, there's way more art and science to it than you'd probably think, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, okay, let's unpack this story because it starts with these two boys, Kesser and Steen, and they're heading over to Tante Green's Aunt Green's garden to prune her hedges.
Right, but the best part is how they prepped for this. They spent, like, the entire winter out in their shed.
Doing what exactly?
Well, they were restoring these totally rusted junkyard rose shears. They even went so far as to craft these custom brand new handles out of striped tiger palisander.
Wait, tiger rosewood? For some garden shears?
Yeah, exactly, just for a weekend garden chore.
I mean, is fixing up these old tools basically like, restoring a vintage sports car just to drive it to the grocery store?
That is exactly what it's like, but, having those razor-sharp precision tools actually really matters.
Because it's not just about looking like a professional.
Yeah. Right. It's about what happens inside the plant when you make the cut. Because if the blades are dull, you just crush the stem instead of slicing it.
Ouch.
Yeah, and crushing it completely ruins the biological reaction you were actually trying to trigger.
So a clean cut does what exactly?
Well, it redirects the plant's hormones. It's this concept called apical dominance.
Okay, apical dominance.
Yeah, so basically, by snipping the top off the plant, you literally force its growth in a different direction.
Oh, so is this, like, think of a main highway being closed down, and that forces all the traffic to, I don't know, reroute and fill up the side streets.
That is a perfect analogy, yeah. Without that highway closure, the plant just keeps building upward.
Right, getting all tall and spindly.
Exactly, and completely bare at the bottom. But making that clean cut forces all that hormonal traffic into the lateral buds.
Which are the neglected side streets just waiting for cars in this scenario.
Exactly. The plant really has no choice. It forces the plant to grow bushier and denser instead of just shooting straight up.
But I'm guessing rerouting that traffic on an old, leggy lavender bush isn't like an overnight fix.
Oh, definitely not. It requires a lot of patience. Restoring an overgrown bush takes multiple rounds of pruning.
Right.
It's much like carefully reducing a large tree's crown over time.
Which is pretty rewarding though, right?
Yeah.
Because a nice new mature lavender bush goes for what, like $100?
Yeah, around $100. For Kesser and Steen, that's a full day's pocket money saved just by knowing how to wield those tiger rosewood shears.
Right. But okay, the actual process sounds kind of terrifying.
Oh, it really is. I mean, Steen actually panics when he steps back and looks at the heavily pruned plant.
What does he say?
He says it looks like a plucked chicken with feathers everywhere.
Wait, really? But if it looks like a completely plucked chicken, how do we know we haven't just, murdered a $100 plant? Like, how do we know we haven't crossed the line from pruning to executing?
Well, that's a completely natural fear when you're just faced with bare wood. But Kesser actually talks him off the ledge.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he reassures him. He's like, look, gardening isn't medieval brain surgery.
Medieval brain surgery, wow.
Yeah, he tells him that this drastic stripped-down look is just a totally biologically necessary step to reset the plant's architecture for its future health.
Okay, so once they realize they haven't killed Tante Gren's garden, they really lean into the pure imaginative joy of hacking away.
Oh, totally. Steen starts joking about becoming the next Robert Jacobson of bush sculptures.
Complete with Hans Christian Andersen silhouettes.
It's such a fantastic visual. He's up there looking like a garden troll riding a goat over a hedge.
But it is worth noting that his grand top-down topiary strategy really only works because of how lavender is wired biologically.
Right, because if he tried that same technique on his lawn or, like, his own hair...
It wouldn't work at all.
No, because grass and human hair actually grow from the base, not from the tips like lavender.
That is so wild. Pruning the top of a lavender bush fundamentally changes its shape because you are removing the active growth point.
Exactly. The rules of growth completely change depending on the organism you're looking at.
Wow. It leaves you with something pretty provocative to ponder.
It's that.
Well, think about that lavender plant. If cutting back the old, dry, and overgrown stuff is literally the only way to redirect a plant's energy for healthy new growth, what overgrown habits or routines in your own life might need a drastic, plucked chicken kind of pruning so you can flourish again?